I actually made a discovery last night. I will explain when I get to the gas station because I'm currently on low fuel. I know for a fact I can't make it there and back because the parent also wants me to drop by a store to buy some breakfast for the next 1 to 2 weeks. It's always fun when driving when you're on low fuel. Basically discovered was, and unfortunately I can't experiment with this because otherwise I have to export the video in 720p. I can record in, no, that would not make sense. Essentially, if you want to edit only on your phone, you can't record in 720p by 240 frames per second. That's just not possible. Now, if the whole video you plan on putting out in 720p, which I wouldn't understand why anyone would want to, you can record in 720p by 240 frames per second, but edit on both your phone and on your computer. The best you can do is set the slow motion on the iPhone to 1080p by 120 frames per second, which I actually just changed the settings last night. What I'm going to do today is I'll be filming some slow motion in 1080 by 120 FPS, and it kind of sucks that I can't compare and contrast, but that's only because I don't want to export the video in 720p just for the slow motion clips. Nice colored trucks. Went inside to grab a bottle of water because, as you guys know, I'm trying to lay off the caffeine. The one thing I really dislike about this mount, let me grab the phone off of the mount. The phone mount itself is this way, right? And when I want the screen to be facing me as I'm recording, or the screen on the opposite side of this bar right here, I can't do it because every single time I do, the power button is always on this part. And 3 times now where I try to pull out my camera and then find out my phone is turned off because I think for some reason, I don't know how it's possible, but I guess when you have the power button held down for like 10 seconds, even if it's asking you if you want to shut it down, I guess it'll force shutdown or in some way, shape, or form. I just thought that was kind of weird. Grab my water, and now I am on my way to school. People here really can't drive. When you're merging onto the highway, people don't drive the supposed speed you're supposed to be going as you're getting onto the highway. And there's some dumb people out there who can't drive big cars. I had this Asian lady who was in an E300 who took the longest time. I've never ever seen anyone take a turn that long before. I was faster in my SUV than her turning in her E300, and at every single green light, I don't know what she was doing, but I was like, how are you driving? The way you're driving is completely unsafe. You're going so slow to the point where you would be deemed as a safety hazard. That's how bad it was. Dealing with rush hour traffic. I would choose not to be in carpool lane, but it's just, traffic is just much clearer in carpool lane. You got, cars braking for no reason. We just passed a highway entrance actually, and people don't know legally you're supposed to go inside one lane when cars are actually trying to merge onto the highway. And 95% of the people, they simply forget it. Now that I'm actually at school, I've been thinking about it for these past 2 days. I think I will continue to film on my phone because of the convenience of only bringing my phone out, and this, I have plenty of mini tripods at home because of the fact that my arm gets sore after holding my phone for 10-15 minutes long, and the video itself is only like 10 minutes long, and if I want to I'll extend it to 15 minutes, but 15 minutes of video is pretty much 20 minutes of video recording, like as a whole, with all the individual clips added up. What I was thinking was, after my laptop comes, and to my recollection, I don't think the A6000 records in 240p either, which really sucks. The only camera I've used so far that has 240 FPS filming capability is Brian's GoPro, which I just gave back to him. But I guess if I wanted to, I could get a GoPro off of Craigslist for cheap, and I don't need the highest quality. I just need something that can film in 240 frames per second. 120 isn't bad, but I would just have to record more for how much I'm able to slow down the footage recording in 120 frames per second. That's what has been going on in my mind lately, because I still like that cinematic look, but if I wanted to just, keep video as simple as possible, like what I'm doing now, right? This whole time I've been without the Apple laptop now for a good, I think a week straight. I think a week and 1 day, because if I remember correctly, I returned the laptop I think last Monday. So I've been literally filming it and editing on my phone ever since. I guess I proved myself wrong, I didn't think it was possible to film on the iPhone and edit even on the iPhone. Editing was the more difficult part, because I was thinking, okay, well, I can edit on my phone. The 7 Plus is pretty new still in terms of technology. Like it is capable, but it's just editing the video. That's another issue, because I don't have any editing programs. That's why I resorted to iMovie, because I was thinking, as bad as iMovie is from when I first used it, it should be able to just do some simple splitting, adding captions and whatnot, and surprisingly it's been working so far. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. You guys can't see it, but it's currently 10:58. I guess what I'm going to do is walk around the top floor, or just on this platform in general, and just to scope out to see if there are any nice cars around. And I already spotted the first one, because this guy was actually finding a parking space, but there's this M3, I believe. I'm gonna keep the iPhone at 2 times the magnification, because it is optical zoom, I believe, and anything more than 2 times will make the video footage actually really pixelated. I'm gonna keep it at 2 times zoom. There's that BRZ. I don't know if those are aftermarket taillights, or if Subaru actually redesigned the newer models, but zoom back out. There's that. There might be someone in the passenger seat, but I'm gonna be a creeper for now. There's that Focus right there, pretty clean. Not much down here. There's that nice Camaro. I really like what Chevy did to the new Camaros with the change in taillights. That Subaru from yesterday. There's that Civic Si. It should be a SI, I'm not too sure, but Gen Coupe right there. Not much on this side. That I don't know if that's an A series or an AS series, but that Audi's pretty cool. C series parked in the corner. I saw this TL last quarter actually, when I was on the other side of the parking lot, because my classroom was actually on the other side of campus. Not a lot of cars, because it's still pretty early, I guess. A lot of people sign up for the afternoon classes. I'm guessing it's because a lot of people have morning shift. So, they get off at, say, maybe 12 or 1, and then do a few afternoon classes. I think what I'm gonna do now is, as I'm heading down the class, I'm going to film a few clips at 120 FPS and just see how they look in iMovie, because if it plays back and it's still really bad quality, then I can't do slow motion at all if I'm filming or if I'm editing with iMovie. I have to wait until my laptop gets in and then see if I can find, oh, there's a Civic right there. Let me guess, coilovers and exhaust with the wheels. So I'm waiting for my laptop to get in and then hopefully find a camera I can find for cheap that I can film in 240 frames per second. That's when real business starts. I actually didn't see this Miata here, and knowing a Miata or being an owner, I know how it feels. So this Miata is actually pretty clean. But I just find it to be so funny because having owned a Miata for half a decade, sometimes when I'm trying to find a parking spot, I get tricked by another modified Miata, which is really funny. I'm gonna be testing out the slow motion now. Just got out of class. I'm not looking forward to getting stuck in traffic all the way down. Let's see if there's any cool cars now that it's an hour later. This is a nice Golf. I'm not too sure if it's the one that I saw last quarter. Doesn't have a hardtop either. Nice wheels. That Civic actually moved from the red side of the parking lot. He used to be over there on that side. This guy's got a custom plate. G35 with the Civic. Not sure if that's ASI. Looks like ASI, but I'm not too sure. And there's my car, alone in its corner. I don't know which ramp I took. For some odd reason, this is not the same exit. You'll see why I say that later. I was thinking, because I was planning on taking the highway, but I guess that's not an option now. But I was planning on taking the highway, buying the breakfast first, and then coming back around in the direction of school to get lunch. I think I'm just going to go to Baguette. This is actually pretty clean right here. This little, I don't even know what that is. Oh, it's a Toyota, but I don't know what model that is. Not too well versed in my classics. I guess I'll just leave the phone running for now. This exit leads me out here. I don't know how that's possible. That's kind of weird to me, but I mean, it's whatever. In all my years of coming here to this school, I've never used this exit to get onto the highway. But my classroom is actually in this building, so I park here in this parking garage, walk over, and then thankfully my classroom is actually on ground floor, so that's good. That's the school right there. Bad part about coming through here is some students will let you go, some students just run across and not care if you're waiting to go. I just wanted to point something out here, and I think the reason why overall Asians are, I guess, healthier in a sense than Americans is because, for one, Asians, like I'm about to show you this, the contents that are in this bun, and none of this, well, it says goji berry, and I don't know how to say it in English, but Chinese it's I think it's longan or something, but the goji berry itself is naturally sweet, and Asians do this a lot. Is what we tend to do, we boil water and then we put the goji berries, which they do sell separately, and there are some stores that sell it here actually in the States. What you do is you boil water, you put the goji berries in the water, maybe give it like 10-15 minutes, and believe it or not, the goji berries are so sweet it'll turn your water sweet. So Asians can eat sweets, but that's because some of the ingredients that Asians use in our home countries like Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, I don't know how they do it in China and Hong Kong because I'm not from there. The people in Taiwan, they use a lot of naturally made sweet ingredients, which at the same time is still healthy. I don't know how that works, but that's just the way it is. We just have this for breakfast every single day. So essentially what happens is we use this and then we make some eggs and then we put soy sauce in it. So not only is the bun naturally sweet, eggs and soy sauce is bitter to some extent, but not very. So it's kind of light bitterness plus like goji berries that make it sweet. So it's like kind of eating candy for breakfast, if you will. I'm gonna head on over to lunch. I still actually don't know what to eat for lunch. That's the main problem. I already had popcorn chicken yesterday. Don't really know. I'll know later. Now that I actually have the cover off and I took a look at what the name of the bread was, I don't know what one of them is still. It's something like strawberry cream, but all right. That is strawberry cream. That is custard filling, I believe. That is smoked sausage bread, what I couldn't get last time. I didn't know what it was last quarter. And this is pineapple cranberry tart, I believe. Tart or bread, I don't know, but I mean, same thing. That's my lunch. That's, I guess, half lunch, half dessert, and this is full dessert. Going to end the video there and see what's up tomorrow.